No, it's a nut. BLFC, hands down, probably the best con of the year for me. Probably the best con of the year. There were some moments where I was very overwhelmed, but overall, the convention was fucking amazing. BLFC happened in Reno at the GSR from the 20th to the 25th, I think. That was the time that I was there. That Wednesday to the Monday. And holy fuck, did so much happen. Do I have a lot of con footage? Absolutely not. I spent a lot of it seeing new friends, talking to friends, and experiencing whatever the fuck I did. But I do have pictures and I do have stories. Today is going to be a good day. If you want con stories, this is it. But, okay, let's start from the beginning with what happened. And let me just say, my weekend at BLFC, my experiences and stories has nothing to do with pizza. So let's begin. Let me bring up the pictures. So, my BLFC experience. It starts with Adam Sandler. Okay, so, you know how I do this thing where I take pictures and download images on my phone? Yeah, this isn't at BLFC. This is like the weekend before, where I went to a haunt, like one of those New England like the House of Terror things, and there was my favorite horror artist, Adam Sandler. There we go. And actually, okay, this is the first day of the con. And this is where I had absolutely no pictures. This was Thursday, which I have to explain a bit of Wednesday now that we're talking about it. But Wednesday was just pretty much travel day. Didn't sleep at all. When I got to BLFC, I was up for 40 hours, and it was not fun. I didn't sleep on the plane, had multiple layovers, almost got trapped in Denver because all of Southwest Airlines networks went down all at once as we were boarding the plane. The point is, Wednesday was just comatose day, and I literally was a walking zombie. So if you met me only on the Wednesday at BLFC, I'm very sorry. So Nova got footage of me on that Wednesday as I was heading up to my hotel room. This is when I was literally just getting there. They put the camera in front of the peephole and saw me waddling down. It's so blurry, but this is footage from through the peephole of our hotel room. I was so fucking tired. That was literally it. I opened the door and I see a camera in my face, and Nova's there. I'm like, you know, what else did I expect? Look at that waddle. But that was the first ever footage or photo from me at the con. So I had a 5-hour layover in Denver. I was picked up from the airport at 4 a.m., had my flight to Denver, almost ended up being a 12-hour layover, but they changed it last second so that it was only a 5-hour layover. A few hours later, after the network outage, finally left, arrived in Reno, got there. I was about to take the shuttle. So here's the thing about like when you get to Reno for BLFC. You arrive at the airport in Reno, and there's a shuttle that takes you to the GSR, which is the hotel resort where BLFC is at. I got there. There were a bunch of furries on my flight, a lot of them giving me like the like side eye of like, who is that? I'm like, no, you're gonna wait to say hi to me till we get to the con, please and thanks. But either way, it was a lot of furries on my flight. As soon as we got off the flight, everyone like moved on over to the shuttle, and I saw the shuttle pull up. It's the smallest fucking thing ever. There were more furries there than could be fit on the shuttle. So I said, fuck that, and I called an Uber and got there in like 5 minutes. So that was good. It was only like $8. But I got there, I found a fox, found Keat. He was like the first person that I ran into at the con. He kidnapped me again. I can't remember what we did that day. I think we went to go and either get food or hang out by the fire pit. So Keat picked me up and we went out to the fire pit to hang out. I told him I was tired as fuck. I had been off of 40 hours of no sleep. So he was like, oh God, I'm so sorry, you should go and get some rest. And I'm like, no, I want to hang out with you. And then our friend ISO comes up, and he already went to Fat Tuesdays. And ISO added a little special thing into his, and he's like, here, Beta, drink this. We played that game. And this is me off of no sleep and an empty stomach. I took a sip. This was the result. Literally took minutes, not even hours, just minutes for that to happen. But after I was at the fire pit, I went back inside to grab some food at Johnny Rockets, which was literally to the left of this picture. And while I was heading to Johnny Rockets to grab some food, I ran into Sang and Doryu. This is my first time meeting Sang, and I got to see Doryu, and I was just sort of like creeping on them while they were eating food, having what I'm assuming was their date. And this is the picture that followed. And because Sang wanted a big hug from me, he's like, oh my God, you give good hugs. Can I have another hug? And I'm like, sure. And this is me after the drink. And then we took the picture, or rather Tyler took the picture for us. Shout out to Tyler. And that is what happened. But either way, this was the beginning of my con. And that's some leaked footage of what I look like on the first day of the con. Not even the first day of the con. And this is like sort of a point that I have with BLFC. Wednesday is supposed to be like the early day where everyone's like getting in, and it's supposed to be just like the chill day. Wednesday at BLFC, before the con actually started, felt like the first day of the con. I felt like I was getting there late to be early. So after I saw Sangandori, I just went back to the room and passed the fuck out. Now going to the picture, this was the first thing that greeted me as soon as I opened my eyes. This was a sign of things to, like, look at this fucking view. This is like some shit that Bob Ross would put together. But going on from there, so there's no... After we had woken up, Nova and I and Keat, we all met up and grabbed coffee. Ah, beautiful. Fattest fucking coffee. This was that morning of the con, and it's already popping. Beautiful. Half the time you'll see me interacting with Nova will be when when they're filming me, filming them. So first day of BLFC be like, wow, gay and beautiful. And then this happened where I was outside. We went outside towards the pool area at BLFC. There's no fucking chair anymore. If you were at BLFC 2019, you would have seen a giant lawn chair right there that a lot of people would gotten fursuit photos on, even though they weren't supposed to. They replaced it with a duck. The duck is nice. Never got a picture of the duck, but it was nice. They replaced the chair. I was a bit upset. And then I looked back at Nova. Nova, this is your fault. Wonderful. I love Nova so much. And that was the first time, not the first time I drank coffee with Nova, but this was the morning of the con, where I've done literally nothing else but drinking coffee, said hi to Keat, and woke up and saw Nova. So Thursday, after we got coffee and we meandered around, we realized there was nothing much to do. No one was fursuiting around, dealer's den wasn't open, registration was opening up. So eventually I caved out of boredom and said fuck it. And so I waited in line on the first day for registration, where everyone was starting to get together and wait for reg. And you know what? BLFC, for the amount of people that attended that con, registration was the best that I've experienced ever. For all that you need, including getting your registration, including everything else, took no more than 45 minutes. The line for that registration was so fucking fast. I can't even tell you. I even fucking tweeted out that day. Registration for BLFC is probably the best I've experienced from any furry convention so far. COVID vaccination check was separated from the actual registration, so things move smoothly. So just saying, BLFC staff, you're fucking killing it. You did a great job putting that together, and you made it so that I could go and do other things and didn't experience LineCon. After registration, it came to like dinner time or so, like later in the day. I'm like, I haven't eaten, I should probably eat. I've literally only eaten like airport food or like snacks on the plane. I should probably eat some food. So my friends were like, hey, come here. And I joined them in their car to go and get Raising Cane's. We drove to Raising Cane's. It was delicious. I miss it. There's only like one in Massachusetts in Boston, and I'm not fucking parking there. So yeah, this is a picture of inside the car on the way to Raising Cane's. I mean, look at the fucking, I mean, minus the traffic. Look at how beautiful everything is. So pictures outside Raising Cane's. There's me eating the Raising Cane's. Okay. This is a very stark transition, but this was after I finished my current drink that I had from Fat Tuesday. All that alcohol and all that slushy mix, that pina colada mango mix, that was gone, and this was my state of being after that. Granted, it was after One Night Werewolf, which I played with a bunch of the Twitch furries, and it was really fun. It's like Among Us, but not really, but it's IRL. But yeah, I went back to my room because I was initially planning to sleep, but then Kyle was getting in suit, and my friends were getting in suit. So I'm like, Kyle, take a selfie with me, as like with my slurred and very high-pitched voice, because that's what B2 becomes, which if you don't know, is my drunk/tired persona. Beta becomes B2. I took some pictures with Kyle as he was getting into suit. And I think you get the full picture of what's happening, quite literally, from these pictures. Why do I look like I'm about to nut? I'm dead serious. I don't remember at all taking these pictures, and I haven't gone over any of these. I just hit upload to my fucking PC from my phone, and that's it. I'm literally looking over these for the first time ever. Oh, and the transition. Okay. So After those pictures, we all got into suit and went down to the lobby. It was like 2 a.m. at this point. We went downstairs, there was no one, and we suited around. Now, you'll notice, Beta, this can't be you. This isn't you. You said you fursuited. What happened? I took about like 5 steps in Maverick and said fuck it. Because I honestly, like, I didn't suit this much at the con. I really didn't want to suit as Maverick all that much. I just don't feel connected to the character. That's another explanation for later. I'll talk about it some other time. But I just didn't want to suit. And this was the night I met Tiger in Taru, and then Solus, and then Tiger was just there. They would just vibe. I'm like, okay, well, you want to wear Maverick? And they're like, sure. And I just gave them the head, and they went around. And this is 2 minutes later. But basically, they became God. They decided they are the king of clout and became God, which wouldn't be too far from the truth knowing my circumstance. But yeah. The way I go about doing cons based on who is there is I try to spend it with people that I just haven't seen for a while or know that I won't see for a while. So like Keat, I know I saw him like a month ago when I went to visit Seattle. I know I wouldn't be seeing him for a while because I don't live in Seattle. I live on the East Coast, so I see all these other people around here. And like Kyle and Nova and Kiwi, I'm gonna be visiting next month. So like what I try to do with cons is just like, I try to split it up so that it's like, okay, who am I not going to see? Who do I need to spend more time with? And so on and so forth. That's what I tried to do. And I feel like I did a pretty good job with it. And that's why I spent like pretty much most of my con with Keat and the Twitch furries and Diffuse. I haven't seen Diffuse in 2 years. But yeah, more screen caps. Oh, and then I took a nice pic with Keat. I hadn't gotten some pictures with Keat, like at all, even in suit. So I was just like, Keat, come and take pictures with me, please. I love you lots. And he's like, okay. And then I took some pictures outside Johnny Rockets. I think I finally sobered up at this point, too. I don't know why I was making that face, okay? I don't know what happened there. Why did I make that face? It looks really... It's like... Unless... B2, calm down, please. Why do I keep doing this? Like, maybe I've just accepted my fate, or B2 has accepted his fate as being like the meme. I don't know what I'm doing, ML. I don't know. Thursday was a day, but yeah, I'd say these are some pretty cute pictures. Oh yeah, this was the first. This was one of the first pictures from the con that someone took. This was someone who had just arrived. The poor dude is not being paid enough to deal with this. That poor guy. I feel so bad. He looks so unamused. He looks concerned. Moving on to Friday morning. You're gonna see the routine of Friday morning is wake up, get some coffee, and exist. Because I'm not existing until I have my coffee. And usually that's like an hour wait because Starbucks was in, you know, the hotel, resort, casino area. So we would just wait in line to get coffee. And look who I met. I met the Ford. He was waiting in line and I saw him and I picked him up and gave him the biggest goddamn hug ever. Let me just say, just know that he is hands down the sweetest human being I've ever met. And I love him so, so, so much. And then I met Sync. This is a bit later in the day. You're gonna start to see in all of Friday, I think, was just me going around, seeing people in fursuit and saying hi to them. There weren't too many things that happened on Friday. Saturday was the big day with Barry Talks, and then Sunday was like, I'm gonna party so hard until I don't remember anything. And then there's me and, Kaji! I love Kaji. So, for a bit of info, that Friday, the only obligation that I had was a content creator meetup for Twitch streamers and YouTubers and TikTokers and whatever. Diffuse asked me to join in as one of the hosts. It was me, Kyle, Kiwi, Diffuse, Canadian Dragon, but there were 6 content creators that we all went off into our own little corners of the room and whatever, and people just came up to say hi and ask questions about streams and whatnot. But Kaji showed up in fursuit to root us on and to support us, and I brought my suit because I just thought, why not? You know, because people want to see the suit. But Kaji is a bean. Whoever took these pictures, thank you. There we go. So there's the content creator panel. I was up at the front of the room getting selfies and whatnot while Diffuse was doing the presentation stuff. I ended up going to, I think, like this corner of the room or this corner of the room just to do like the whatever meet and greet for content creators. But this was the panel room itself, pretty overflowed. A lot of people showing up, really happy with the turnout, and I'm glad that people wanted to come and say hi and you know, support me and whatnot. And there's Silo, good bean Silo, adorable fursuit. Very, very cute. Ran into them at the con, and I think I was on my way to, I was on my way to prepping for Berry Talk, so I was just going through towards like the ballroom area and getting ready. So ran into Silo, got some cute pics of them, very cute. Very adorable. Saw Eiko again. He had his little balloon that he named, I can't remember for the life of me, but he got a balloon and I got to squeak it a bit. And I'm like, ah, yes, so good. But something amazing happened after this. I got to meet Jeffrey the giraffe. This isn't the actual Jeffrey the giraffe. This is one of the Jeffrey giraffe mascot costumes that Toys R Us just kind of got rid of because they went bankrupt. But I got to see one at the con, and I was very, very happy. It was really cute seeing like the other tiny giraffe fursuiter, just regular size versus like Jeffrey, who's intended to be like, what, 10 feet tall. But it was nice to see them. It was really, really cute. And then Nova and I went to go and get some coffee. I needed something to eat, so I just went to get another charcuterie board, one from Starbucks, nonetheless, so I did that. And there's Tiger's little, Tiger's concert performance. I took a couple of photos for Tiger during their little performance, their live performance concert, which was right before Berry Talk, so we were all like just kind of scrambling to get together, but their concert was really good and I liked listening to them sing. They were so sweet. But after that came Sunday morning, the last day of the con. Let me just real quick check through Twitter to see if I tweeted anything. Got to hold hands with friends. Low-key, can I just say, like, I love platonic hand-holding, and I finally have, like, a couple of friends that I, like, are comfy with, like, holding my hands and like holding hands with me, so, like, just saying, friends, if you like holding hands with me, please do it. I like holding hands, it's very cute, and I think that's it, yeah. Moves on to Sunday. Okay, so, Sunday for me felt like Monday after Denver. I was fucking exhausted. I went to bed early on Saturday when everyone was partying as well. And it's just, I was so fucking tired. And I woke up just dead to the world. I woke up at like noon. Noon on Sunday, I felt like I hadn't slept at all. So I wake up, and my friends invited me to go to the breakfast buffet with them. I went to the buffet the last evening. It was fucking awful. It was so bad. So I'm like, you know what? It's really hard to fuck up breakfast. It really is. So I thought I'd give the buffet another shot, and this was my plate starting the morning. And, of course, no Sunday brunch is perfect unless you have mimosas. This photo wasn't in the rest of the batch before, I just downloaded it because Doryu took it. But this is when we went to brunch. When Doryu sang, Keat and I went to brunch. I downed like 3 of these easily. This is so good, and I love this photo that we took together. It was amazing. But you'll notice in the bottom right-hand corner, I don't know if you're paying attention, that's a lot of fucking crab legs. When Keat went up, he went immediately for all the crab legs, and he came back with an entire separate plate of crab legs. And one of our friends from another table came over to Keat and was like, don't eat the crab legs. And he went on to explain that those fuckers have probably been out for 3 days and are way overcooked, way past spoiled. Like, if you open them and like smell them, it smelt of ammonia. Like, that's what I did. Like, I had to just see. I didn't eat them. I didn't eat the crab legs, but I cracked one open and smelled one, and it literally smelt of ammonia. And then I remembered that night before that I was at the buffet, those same crab legs were there. So that's just a little piece of advice. When you go to a buffet, stay away from the seed food. Unfortunately, Keat had like a whole plate of those crab legs, but he didn't eat them. I didn't eat them. And then I see my friend Pure Ruby Dragon pass by with an entire plate of crab legs on their own. And I warned them, I'm like, don't eat the crab legs. And they're like, oh, I'm so disappointed. They're like, well, like, they just take the advice, don't eat it. And I went to tweet out, don't eat the crab legs. Just out of context, doesn't sound good. And then Ruby ate the crab legs. They just did it at literally like 10 minutes after me warning them. And I'm like, you know what? If anyone is going to survive this, eating those crab legs, it's going to be Ruby. That would kill me. Literally, I would have to go to the hospital. With my state of being and how physically off I was after this con, I would have gone to the hospital. Ruby was just like, nah, fuck it, let's go. Literally after me seeing the tweet, they told me to check my Telegram, and they sent me the picture of Ruby just going in on those crab legs. And this is my reaction. I said a fucking prayer for Ruby. Dude, I haven't been a fucking practicing Catholic in like a decade. And I fucking said a prayer for Ruby. Just like, and then I stopped midway through. I'm like, wait a minute, this is Ruby. They're fine. But it's just like me just having an aneurysm over it. I'm just so done. But that was my morning on Sunday. And there's Korean barbecue. Oh, it was so good. So here's the thing as well. I had, during this, about 7 cups of soju. This was so good. That potato over there, best fucking potato I've ever had in my life. And it was a raw potato. But later on that night, I was feeling it. I just kept going. I just kept drinking and eating and all this food, all that delicious Korean barbecue. Oh, it was so good. It was so yummy, so delish. So those about up to like there was the number of like cups of soju that I had. I had 7 of those. By the end of the night, I was so intoxicated. But it was so good. This is going after the Korean barbecue where I just took pictures of friends and went around con with them. But that was hands down the best way to end off BLFC for me. Going to Korean barbecue with friends. But after Korean barbecue, I was driven back. I don't remember much of it. All I know is I got in suit and went to the rave. A couple of pictures that we took going to the rave. So that's where second stage or main stage was. You just go back there and that's where everyone went. And then the finale, conclusion to everything. I finally got my banana nut bread. And that was my BLFC 2021 experience. No, dead serious. It actually ended on me devouring my banana nut bread that I got. I ate it and it was amazing. I finally got the banana nut bread from BLFC 2019. That is the end of my BLFC 2021 experience. And it was amazing. I literally just packed and went to bed after this because like I had a fucking morning flight and that was a 14-hour long excursion. So either way, I think that's no more pictures, nothing. But those pictures and videos and stories that I had from BLFC pretty much encapsulated my experience fully. Now, before you say anything about, oh, the pizza, oh, this and that happened at the con, a lot of that was separate from the furry convention itself. The con itself went great. Dance comp was amazing. That is the first one that I've sat through that I enjoyed thoroughly. Registration went wonderfully. It was the best registration I think I've ever experienced for the amount of people at a furry convention. And the con staff, the organizers, and the hotel staff did an amazing job handling all the good and all the bad situations. But the point is, BLFC was amazing. Am I going in 7 months? Absolutely, because that's when the next one is, early June, first week of June 2022. I'm going to BLFC next year in 7 months. Can't believe it's only 7 months. I'm planning things to go. I'm going to go with friends again. BLFC is arguably the 3rd biggest con. It is one of the go-to cons for the furry fandom. And that is going to be one of my go-to cons in the future because I want to see friends and spend time with friends again like I did this last weekend. I had such an amazing time. I loved it so much. I had so much fun. I'm going to go back next year. And that pretty much wraps it all up for how the con went for me.